So here is kind of like a 5-ish weeks update. Yesterday, um, the 11th, the 10th, March 10th was 5 weeks for me. So just a little over that now. Um, I did kind of like a 4-week update, and I just never posted it. It was really long. I think I'm pretty much given all the majority of the rundown of details about what's going on with me in my blog. So I'm not going to go as in depth in video because I think it's just a little too much. But I will do just a basic update. Um, my forearm, I'll show you. If you don't want to see it, just jump ahead because I'm just about to show it to you now. But it's doing really well. I had a whole lot of slow on it, which was like kind of like a lot of like really dark, kind of scabbish looking stuff on the top, and I was instructed to remove that. Again, if you want more details on it, it is in my blog. You can read and see photos of it there. But it's doing well. Right now, it's mostly just like mobility stuff that's really hard for me. Flexing my wrist back like that is just like kind of locked right here. And when I work on my therapy and like start stretching my wrist out, I can eventually get it to go back a little bit more. But then, once I don't use it for a couple hours, and then it's kind of like stuck back in this spot. But that's really common. I've had multiple wrist surgeries, and it's kind of been like an issue all the time is like that range of motion. Initially, it's really tough. But then eventually you kind of push through it and you get past it and you really crank on it for a while and push it and push it and push it, and eventually it goes back to where it was. So that's not a big worry. I did order a silicone sheet in the mail. This was about $35 through Amazon, and this is what it looks like. I just got it today. It's gonna have the actual silicone, and then it's got like kind of like a little piece of protectant, kind of plastic paper on the adhesive side, and then you just peel that off and you can stick it on. So this is 5x6, and as you can see, it's not actually going to even cover the entire graft. It'll come close. It'll like almost just make it. So if you've got kind of that size wound, this will be a good option for you. You might want to get like another little small piece to cover up many areas that this doesn't cover, especially if you want, if you've got a larger penis. What else? I just started using Medihoney on a couple of little areas that are just kind of still healing up on me. So there's multiple kinds of Medihoney, and this is actually called calcium alginate, and it's a dressing that has Medihoney as well, and this is kind of right there. So it's like a dressing that's kind of soaked in this, and so I've got two little spots I'm putting it on. I had a tough time with my scrotum initially. It looks beautiful now. It was in much rough shape initially, with a lot of bruising, swelling, and some eschar that had developed. All that fell off. It's pink and healthy and looks great now. There is like a hole about that smaller than that, which actually was where I was having urine leaking out initially, and that all continued to heal and closed up all on its own. So no leaks when I pee at all anymore. There's just that tiny little hole, which doesn't even seem to be draining at all. It's just kind of like just a little, it's pretty superficial, it's not deep. And what these dressings are for actually, and it says right on here, that it's for moderately to heavily exuding wounds. So like an exudative wound is one that's leaking or oozing, and that kind of absorbs the fluid. So even though my scrotum really isn't leaking or anything anymore, these do help to also heal up wounds, holes. So this sometimes can help fill them in. So I just started today to put that on the scrotum, and then also a very small area that I have along the uh, vaginectomy line is another little small hole, like just like a little. It initially kind of, I think the seams kind of like burst open a little bit. Pretty small, smaller than the tip of a Q-tip. Smaller than like my pinky nail. So it's pretty minor. And Crane said that he, expected that it would fill in on its own. In a worst case scenario, I'm looking at like a scar revision when I go in for stage 2. So nothing major. Everything that he kind of predicted for my healing process has happened so far. So I feel pretty good that that's going to continue along and just heal up on its own, hopefully with the help of these calcium alginate dressings. What else? I'm still taking a few supplements. I'm doing Demonos powder every day. I don't think I did it this morning. You can do this once or twice a day, just a teaspoon, mix it in with some juice, put it in cranberry juice or OJ. I prefer putting it in an OJ because I'm actually already also taking cranberry pills. I'm taking those in the morning and in the evening. And I just ordered another bottle of the cranberry. I'm still on the very first bottle that I bought. I'm going to continue through the end of that bottle, taking it twice a day. And then once I finish that, I think I'll move to just once a day. And probably continue that indefinitely just for good urinary health. And then I'll probably just use this until it's gone. Might get another bottle, but I don't know. But the Demonos powder is also for healthy urinary tract, and it even says right on there, it washes away undesirable particles. What it does is it clings to, it sticks to like little pieces of foreign matter in the bladder that are undesirable and should be washed away. Kind of like adheres to them and washes it away. So great thing to have when you're recovering. And I'm also still doing the 3 homeopathic remedies: the arnica, the theocinamum, which is for scar tissue. I think. No, it could be the Staphysagria. Staphysagria is for surgical wounds, and the theocinamum is for scar tissue. So I figured, my body is still definitely recovering from a major surgery, and I still also have scar tissue that's forming in the body. So in my mind, it made sense to continue on with those. And then Arnica is for bruising and also swelling, which I'm sure is still existed on my body. Certainly in my hand, I have edema. Not a whole ton. Mostly down here is where this weird bulbous, disgusting bulge is happening. But aside from that, I don't notice too much swelling, but I'm sure there's a lot of internal stuff that's still going on. In terms of just general physical well-being, I'm doing a lot more every single day. I feel stronger, I feel healthier, I feel just more myself. It kind of, between the past probably like 10 days or so, I think I've made like leaps and bounds towards feeling so much better. I'm doing everything for myself now. I can cook. I'm, just doing basic general cleaning stuff in the house, and, I'm able to be out and about and move and drive my car and get my groceries. And, all that stuff is good. Still sore, of course, and it's, hard to use this hand, but I'm able to care for myself and, and do all that. And excuse me, emotionally, I feel like I'm in a really good space. I just feel, I feel really grateful. I feel really blessed. I think for me, it's kind of hard to talk about. It's kind of hard to talk about being, about doing well in recovery. There's a couple of little minor bumps I've encountered along the way, but I think it's kind of hard to post in these groups and talk about things that are going well when you know that there's guys out there struggling as well. And so when I talk about where I'm at in my healing process, I just also want, and guys that are dealing with complications and struggles at the moment, to know that, you know, that you're going to get through it. But that also that I, hope that being in these groups doesn't feel like kind of salt in the wounds, um, when I can see how it could be. So I feel, again, really blessed, really grateful, and there's kind of like been a shift in my mind. Um, the mental landscape for me pre-surgery was really hard. Everything, every single thought I had in my head was just getting me to surgery and needing the surgery, and it was like the biggest obsession of my life. And not just in the 1 year leading up to surgery, but like this has always been like a ridiculous obsession that I just could not let go of. Um, and it's like disappeared, and this surgery is certainly not a fix all, but it's like I truly feel like there was like, for me, this like pre-surgery way of being and psychology and whole mental landscape, and it clearly like cut after surgery happened, and there's like this other part of my existence now that is so worlds different than how I used to feel and how I used to think, and like just like this constant feeling of anxiety and stress and dysphoria. And I know my penis doesn't function the same way that natal men's penises do, but it's just, like, I'll take it, like I'll take it. It's not huge, and it's not, perfect in the sense, like it's got a couple of small scars on it, like, eh, you know, it's, it's like 4 inches long. But it's mine, and for me, it's perfect. Um, and it meets these like basic levels of functioning that I so desperately needed. Uh, and for me, like that's more than enough. Um, so that's where I'm at these days. And still trying to like stay linked into to updating with stuff. And it's been harder than I had anticipated. I feel less of a drive to kind of be updating about this stuff, and I think it's just because of that change that's happened psychologically for me. How it was like everything that I was thinking about, and now it's just not. Um, it's been kind of hard to make myself sit down and write updates, because it's like I'm focused on other things now, and that's a blessing. I think in that in and of itself is worth updating about, because it's, like for me, this surgery has done exactly what I anticipated that it would. And there's that whole physical component, but then there's also this whole like desperate need of change of focus in what I was constantly thinking about, that has also taken place. And that has been like equally a relief as much as the physical shifting has been. Um, so I guess that's all I've got for now. Been talking for a while, so I won't keep you guys. But if you've got any questions or anything you specifically like, for me to update about next time I make a video, I'm happy to talk about whatever. And I have a fun idea for an action photo that I'm dreaming up at the moment. So I'll have fun posting that and working on that. But thanks a lot, guys. I hope all your plans for surgery or your recovery, wherever you're at, are going well, and that things are moving along. And it's crazy to be sitting here, knowing that 5 weeks have passed since surgery, when I can so clearly remember being 21, and like 10 years away from all of this and thinking it would never happen for me, or being a year out from surgery and having my date and thinking like, I'm gonna die if this just can't happen right now. But it'll happen, and and you'll get through it, and the outcome will eventually be something that just improves your day to day life. It's been very different than I expected in some facets. You know, when I think about like the length of my penis and how pre-op I was just like so consumed by donor site and size and all these things, you know, and then like now that he's here, I'm just grateful that he's healthy, and that he, you know, that I can pee with him and that he's mine, you know, that I touch him and that he's warm, you know, like he's like that, like warmth of my own flesh. And all these things are like, I just feel super grateful for. And I didn't expect how much I would feel, so accepting of that aspect of it, you know, that maybe it wasn't the perfect size and length that I wanted, but that ultimately, like, it didn't even matter, you know. So if that gives you any, if that's any consolation in figuring out, you know, what donor site you really need to go with, sometimes in the end, it's just not going to matter because he's going to be yours, you know. All right, folks, take care, and thanks a bunch. Catch you guys later.